Property Investing for Women, empowering women to build wealth through property. A podcast brought to you by Investor Women. Create, nurture, prosper.
Welcome back to Property Investing for Women. I'm your host, Reshmi Kumar. Today I'm joined by Carla Filipakis, who is passionate about bringing women together, creating connections, and helping women support each other in business and life. And today we're going to talk about the lessons she's learned, the decisions she's made, and why having the right people around you is so crucial for your growth. Because whether it's business, investing, or creating a better future, your success depends on the people you surround yourself with. So let's get right into it. Welcome, Carla.
Oh, hello, good morning.
You had a good drive here today?
Yeah, I have. Thank you so much. It's been good. Thanks for having me on this episode today.
For everyone listening who hasn't met you yet, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do today and what led you to creating that network of women?
Thanks, Reshmi. My name is Carla Filipakis. I am a wife, a mother to two sons. I've been in the early childhood industry and now I consider myself as a children's entertainer and artist. So it's been a journey, I'm not going to lie. There's been a lot of ups and downs, just like anything in life. But I've always been really passionate with working with families and children. And the reason why I've built a community full of women, which I'll delve in a moment, is because I had so many struggles when I started my business, and I wanted to build a real great network of women where I say, if I can do it, you can do it too. So that's me in a bit of a nutshell. So no 2 days are ever the same. And yeah, I'm here to share my journey. So fire away with any of your questions.
A lot of women are listening, who are listening are juggling with careers, businesses, families and finance. So what was the turning point where you realized women need stronger network?
So the highlight there in that sentence is the word juggle. Every day is a juggle. Whether you're a mother raising a family and working for someone or building a business, every day is such a juggle. Or whether you're a fur mum or you're a carer and you're working for someone. There's always juggles and so much happening there as well. So just depends on your circumstances. For me, I did work for companies in the early childhood industry, and I found that a juggle. I found it was very hard raising a family and getting to the whole 9-to-5 job. Hence why I went into business I think I started delving into the business world probably about 18 years ago when my second child was born. I just felt like, I don't know if I want to work for anyone anymore. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's something better out there for me. My husband's always been the breadwinner and always been working, but I do want to be a stay-at-home mum. I know I studied in the early childhood field and I just wanted to see if I can create something in that space, but in the business world. So that's when I sort of delved into what can I do as a business with the early childhood industry specialist that I was. So I created a business and that's when I started networking, and I was going possibly to the wrong networks and finding it very, very male orientated, very professional orientated. So I've got nothing against males or professional industries, but I was the mother of two who worked in childcare, and I wanted to connect with families out there. And every time I went to the networking events, I was really judged and looked down upon, like being an early childhood person wasn't a professional service enough. And that's when some pivotal moments happened, and I'm thinking, why is everyone judging me? What is it? Mm-hmm. So my confidence began to shift. my mindset began to shift, and I started to really crumble. And I thought, why are these people doing this to me? And with the support of my husband, he knew I could do better, and he kept pushing me and saying, go out there and show everyone your specialties, your niche, because you're pretty good at doing all the things you do. And that's when I started speaking to other families out there. And a lot of the women were saying, oh, you've taken that leap of courage and bravery and you're doing something for yourself. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I couldn't do the whole 9 to 5, or in early childhood it wasn't 9 to 5, it was pretty much 7 till 6. So it was a rotating shift you had to do. So that whole mentality of how do I do this? How do I navigate it? So I moved along the processes and developed strategies where I built that business with a whole turnaround of a mindset saying, I am brave, I am confident, I am knowledgeable, and I've got so much to give to families. And that's where I just knew if other people were feeling like that, I have to encourage them, and that's what led me to where I am today, and I've created a second business now. So I hope that answers the question. Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome, because we tend to forget that is ground. This is something from ground up. But the support, the businesses that we do, the things we do behind the scenes, and the professional people are out there. But this is not to be forgotten. This is real support at the back end that we do. That is also needed to be seen in that light as well. So when you speak with other women in your community, what are the common things you hear women struggle with when it comes to backing themselves, like how you talked about the confidence in being brave?
I feel like I speak about this nearly every day to the women. So I think it's a few factors. A lot of them are working for somewhere else where it's stability. They're getting that income, going to work for someone, but still raising their family. But raising their family means sometimes those kids are sick, so you can't go into work. And then what happens? Everything crumbles. You can't go in. The boss starts telling you, oh, you're not in again. What's going on? Isn't there someone else that can look after your family? Or can't your partner or can't your hubby look after the family while you come into work? Well, sometimes it doesn't work like that. No. And I hear that a lot, saying that I want to build a business and I'm building it possibly on the side, like a side hustle, but I still need that income and that stability on everyday life sort of thing. So I hear that a lot. Then I hear the whole, I can't do it. There's no way I could go into the workforce and build a business from scratch. I'd rather go work for someone else and just go in, go home and do my thing. So I think it's kind of like a bit of a confidence thing. So I teach the women in my group, or I give them resources and, different, and sometimes there's a podcast to listen to, or someone in our group's got some good mentorships happening. And I always say, it's baby steps. It's not going to happen overnight. You will fail. It's not going to be easy. If it was easy, we'd all be doing it, So I say, speak to yourself in the mirror before you start speaking to people. Like the whole, when you were younger, little girl, and you used to brush your hair in the mirror. Well, this is something I used to do. And I used to say, yes, I can do it today. I'm going to go skip the rope and I'm not going to fall and I can do it and I can do it. It's pretty much like that as an adult. You just got to think like that. Like, it's like, if I fall down, I pick myself up and I try again.
Somewhere along the line, we tend to forget our younger self, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think there's just so much pressure, especially if you are like a mother or a parent. It's like, you can't fail. You can't show your flaws. Or you can't show that you're having a bad day. You got to keep it real. And
so do you find yourself putting that facade?
No, I probably used to, but now I keep it real. I be as authentic as possible. And that's probably what's led me to who I am today. Because there have been so many moments where I have failed, but you learn from those mistakes and failure. Without them, it's not going to be who I am today. You know, those moments have led me and built me stronger and more resilient. And I think that's what the women in the community need. It's building that confidence, resilience. Don't feel like you're always failing. Think of, if you fail, pick yourself up and give it another shot. And nothing's overnight. I think people think success is totally overnight. It's not. It totally isn't. But I think it comes down to your mindset as well, and having a good network of people around you, whether it's someone in business or a mentor, a really close friend, or someone that you look up to. I think it's really important that you have an outside opinion, not always someone that's in your family, like your husband or a partner or whatever. I think it's good to have a diverse sort of mentors out there.
Yeah, that's good. So you were talking before about people having to have that money coming in for the daily life, and then they're not able to pursue their passion or build up a business when they do it as a side hustle. So does money actually stop people, or not having that constant flow of money kind of hinder themselves?
Yeah, I think so. From what I've been listening to some ladies over the years, I think it is. It's sort of like, well, if I stop working for someone and I've got to go into business, where am I going to get the money from? Do I go get a loan, or do I borrow from someone, or do I use the financials that it's already in your family? Like, there's so many different factors that do hinder it. So I don't give that sort of financial advice because I'm not in that sort of expertise. But I always say, reach out to someone, go get advice. But I think it's one of those things that the women do say, it is easier if I do go work for someone, because where do I start? Do I go to the bank and say, okay, I need a small business loan and I'm doing this? I don't know how that's going to go. So for myself, when I started in baby steps, and I did use our income, what we had, and then we grew.
So one thing I'm passionate about is women having more financial confidence and choices. Growing up at your home, what sort of conversations did you have around wealth creation and money?
Okay, to be honest, growing up was totally different to my life right now. I had migrant parents, and they had some hurdles in life that affected me. So I got a little bit scarred about money.
Right.
It is a very tough topic. I've only opened up about this now. My parents are elderly, they're in a nursing home, God bless them. But it's been really tough. So the conversations I have with my children now are totally different to what I had at the family dinner table as a little girl growing up with my parents. In my family, my siblings were a lot older than myself, so it was just myself and my parents at one stage. So when I started working, like at 14 years old or something, I think my sister was just getting married, so it was just myself going into the workforce. My mother never worked in Australia when she came here. Dad worked when he came to Australia in the 50s from Italy, so he's always really been a hard worker. Then he's gone into business over the years, but like I said, then there were some hurdles that financial situations that was a bit tough at the table, and it got to the point where nobody was able to talk about it. Even till this day, it's a really tough topic if we were to bring it up with my parents. So I never really had much passion about working to a certain level. I think when listening to my mother growing up, she was pretty much saying, when you're older, you're just going to be a wife and a mother, sort of thing. I had that instilled in me. And then I had my father, who was like, give it a go. go out there in the workforce. What do you want to be when you're older, sort of thing. And I always wanted to teach. I wanted to work with children. So I sort of had that mentality from one end to the other. So yeah, the conversations around the table were just phenomenal, so different. But then as I got my education and went into the workforce as an adult, then I sort of went on my own journey until I met my husband, his family were totally different, and they were all about financial stability and things like that. And no, I didn't marry him with the money. I had no idea what their position were like. But when we got married, that's pretty much when we both united together and said, this is who I am, this is who I am, and together these are the goals we're going to achieve. And that's what's led me pretty much to my journey today. So the childhood, yeah, I'm going to say it was tough.
How long did it take you to let go of what you learned from your parents and bring up your own, sort of ideas into your life?
Good question. I'm going to say maybe my late 30s. So, probably about 10 years ago. Not going to, disclose my age or anything. But yeah, I think it was just, it's been one of those things, it's been building blocks. It's been struggles, building knowledge. I think that's what it is, knowledge. I think sometimes we just get in our day-in-day life, like the kids start going to school and you go to work and you're building your business or whatever. But deep down you're like, okay, you've got to get to a point where you think, hang on, it is that knowledge. Read up, listen to, the money section on the news and things like that. That's where you really start looking at your goals in a different light, I think.
Light,
yeah.
Yes, because it's part of your life, right?
Yeah, it is.
So do you think women sometimes focus too much on building their career and business, and then they forget about building their personal wealth? In your experience, you've seen a lot of women.
With my experience, I think yes, because I've always just looked at life. I had my children young, and like I said, I always worked for someone then, and I went into the business world. I didn't have my own personal wealth. It's always been a joint thing, and that's great because, I've decided to get married to my husband, and it's always been a journey where we've come together. But since having my own business, I like that financial freedom of buying certain things with my own money that I've, derived from my own income and things like that. But like if I was meant to tell my younger self all these different scenarios, oh geez, I will go tell her so many different things. But yeah, I think some other women might have that sort of thing. But again, everyone's journey is just so different. So yeah.
From the women you meet, what holds them back? What do you think holds them back?
I did a poll the other day on our private WhatsApp group chat, and one of them was knowledge. They need more knowledge. Knowledge in so many different areas, so not just like the financials, but where to navigate answers. Like if they're building their business, they're starting from scratch, who do they turn to? What sort of resources out there? So I think that knowledge is really important. I wish like the Australian government or the business teams would just put out something, this is what you do when you start a business, like a manual or a Bible, but I feel like it's not. They sort of have to navigate their own journey. So I find knowledge is one of them. The other one is confidence. I don't know what's wrong with us women. I feel like we've always got self-doubt, fear of someone's going to judge us. What are people are going to think about us, especially about social media? Oh my gosh, that's just like next level. Because we're living in a day that everything is on social media, whether it's Instagram or YouTube's or TikTok, whatever. I think everyone is thinking, if I post that online, what are people going to think of me? It's that constant judgment. And It's that constant judgment that we have. I feel like, where does this judgment come from? Are we doing it? Is it just like, imposter syndrome? Are people really thinking it? So I feel like confidence is something we just need to just knock over.
I think because of the judgment we see other people have from posting something, and yes, it's quite discriminatory information, like people just have nothing better to do. You've got to just look at it, that they've got nothing better to do and they're out there. They don't even know you. If they knew half the stuff about you, they'd just shut up. And so you have to look at it that way and just do what you've got to do. Doesn't matter what you get. And so the confidence is certainly one thing. And and the knowledge. So the next question I had for you is money side of things, right? So yes, this is the business with the lack of knowledge and confidence. What about openly talking about money? What do you think holds them back?
Maybe because, again, a little bit of judgment. If they disclose in their financials or something to someone, they're probably going to think, oh, this person might think less of me because I don't have XYZ funds or whatever. Or if people judge me because I borrowed from the bank, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think it could be like a judgment thing that's holding them back. I'm not really sure. I feel like, but that's a touchy subject. Yeah. It is. Do you get that?
For many women, the ones who want to get ahead in life, they're openly saying stuff. But for some reason, yes, women do hold back and don't share much about their financials. And it's not a taboo subject. It should be talked about openly. Because that's the only way you can gain that confidence and knowledge. Once you know your numbers, then you know where you're going to go, like where you want to be. So it should not be seen as a taboo subject. It should be openly talked about, because you talk about your emotions, your children, your work. Money is a big part that supports everything else in life. So, and that's the thing we don't talk about. So it's important that we do talk about.
I feel like men speak about it more than women.
Yes.
Do you find that as well?
Because they are the breadwinners. They have been raised that way to bring in the money.
That's right.
Women have been raised to be at home, nurture the family, look after that. Whereas if the woman does not look after the family, so here's the problem. When women stay back and look after the family, they've not created wealth.
That's right.
For themselves, let's say, or for their family, for that matter. Marriages don't last. A lot of marriages don't last. So women then find themselves in a very difficult situation. There has to be some level of individual money within that relationship, so that you do not feel like, how can you ask? That's a problem. And that balance is always there. You have to see the family and the nurturing side of the family and the money side of it equally.
Yes.
So this is where women tend to kind of take it a little bit back and not see that as this is an equal and important role that I'm playing. So that's the same thing for money as well. And when marriages don't last, this is where women find themselves in a different situation, because if they're not financially literate, that's another thing. So it's very important to talk about money. I feel very passionately about women, because money gives you choices. Yeah, and it's not about just being in the relationship, depending on the husband. And when you are making your own money, doesn't mean that it's a separation in the relationship. You're coming in together, and it's a joint force on the money side of things as well. Because many men do look after the children too.
Yeah, that's right.
And women earn money too. So that's the balance. Now coming to your property side of things, you have bought your properties. Take me back to the first property you bought.
Okay, so the first property was our first home, our first family home. So when we got married, when we got engaged, we purchased our first property. We just renovated a little bit, and that was our first family home. And remember that story about my childhood was very different to my husband's. So my husband's family were investing in an investment property at the time, and we were one of the investors in the property with a couple of other family members. That was our first one, and it was like something totally new for me because we just purchased our first home that we lived in. I think we had our first son, and then all of a sudden we were buying an investment, and someone was living in that property, and it was just a whole nother, it was just a whole nother, ball thing sort of thing. And I was just learning that. I didn't manage it. It was more the family, but just that was my learning. That was my learning. Even until now, I'm still learning. So we sold that many years ago now. Then we went into a couple of other investments with family as well. But probably about 10 years ago, my husband and I bought a property on our own. Yeah. So it was just wonderful to see that we were growing in that sort of department. We still struggle sometimes, the cash flow, because you've got to pay those bills.
Yep.
So we've bought and sell a few over the years. So I think all up we've probably had 4 properties.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You've done well?
Yeah, we've done well. So some have made us, some good income, and others didn't. So that's something we are constantly looking as a family. So my eldest child has bought his own investment property as well. So he's learning. So it's totally different, like I said, to how I was as a child growing up. Now my second son is looking, what can I want to buy something too. Yeah. And it's like, well, darling, you need a good income, and you need to, start saving and things like that. So
mum has learnt, and now mum's passing the knowledge
across.
So
but we haven't done it perfect. I don't even know if there is such a thing as perfect buying. It's constantly learning. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of stress. You have to have that constant income so you can support those loans. And sometimes it does get a bit stressful. And a lot of it is stress on my husband because he is that breadwinner. It's a bit hard at the moment, so I'm quite open and honest and raw right now. Since I have rebranded, I've had to use a bit of our own money to go into my whole music journey that I'm producing now. So there have been some really stressful moments, I'm not going to lie. But we've just purchased our own property. So we've only got one property at the moment. And it's just a bit of a stress relief that we're getting income from the tenants. It's sort of like, yes,
yep.
We've got that coming in now. So, but, I'm not going to lie, it's stressful at times. But I'm quite proud. This is our journey. I'm not a financial expert, and neither is my husband, but we're just learning along the way. And I think it's important just to navigate your own journey. Don't look at anyone else, what they're doing, what that person's doing. We'll see where we go with the next, if we're going to have another one or not. So, yeah.
Yep, that's awesome. You mentioned you sold a property. I just wanted to sold a few.
Yes.
So I just want to go back and looking back now, what were the decisions that made you, what influenced you?
Some of the properties, it was the wrong time. The market wasn't good, and I was like, okay, we might just start selling now. Other times, we've had properties that were with units, and we just found it was a lot of hard work to maintain strata, and there was a lot of maintenance and things like that. So we've sold one. It was just too much stress. Mm-hmm. Another property we sold probably about a couple of years ago was in an area that we thought was going to have good wealth growth. And we spoke to a couple of financial advisors. Thank you. So good to go reach out to professional people out there. And they were just looking at, what do you want to achieve over the next, say, 20 years. Now we're at a stage where we're looking at what we're going to do with our super and plan for retirement. I don't know where these years go, but yes, we're talking about that. So the financial advisor advised us that property probably wasn't going to do much boom over the next 20 years. So it was sort of like, what do we do? Do we keep it, or do we sell it and reinvest? And we chose the latter. So that helped us to get where we are today. So yeah, but I think it's really important to reach out to professionals out there. Like you've got to know your numbers. You've got to look at forecasting. And sometimes that just goes way over my head. So thank you to all those professional people out there. Yeah.
If you had to tell again, knowing, what you now know, what would you have done differently?
Oh, maybe listened more at school to business studies and all my economic teachers back then. Listened probably a bit more to my father rather than my mother. Yeah. I mean, but look, these are just life lessons, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah. It's always there. But I think it would have been nice to have a bit of knowledge about financial stability. I mean, it might have been different. Just say I didn't get married back in the day. What would I have done if I was doing it solo? Like,
exactly.
Who was helping me back then? Nobody. So I think it was really, really, really crucial back as a younger, not maybe a younger girl, but maybe my early 20s or something. It would have been good to have some really good knowledge for us women. What can we do with our wealth, and how can you grow, no matter what your circumstances are? So I got married early, but just say I got married later, what would have happened? Like, who was helping me? Clearly wasn't my mother, who was just telling me to go out there and get married and be a mother, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love being a mother. But I just think it would have been nice to have some knowledge. I think these days there's a lot more, like you can listen to a podcast, you can read a book. Probably back, 35 years ago, there probably wasn't any of that. I mean, there might have been, but not available to me. So I think it's just the resources out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources out there now.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've created a space where women come together. What have you noticed when women surround themselves with other successful women?
It's a really good question. So I'm so proud of what I've created. Like I said, I had so many struggles networking, that whole, oh, you're not professional enough, or, oh, you're not a power man, why should you be in this room? So to go out there now and create a community of women, like-minded women, gives me so much joy. I was doing this voluntarily about 6 years ago, probably before lockdown or something. But then I launched it as a second business 3 years ago. I've actually hit my 3-year mark. So
yeah, congratulations.
Happy birthday to Business Mum Society out there. And I like I said, I have so much joy, and I am proud of what I have achieved. I've done it in such a raw way. I have shared my flaws, my vulnerability, my hiccups, my messy moments, because life isn't perfect. So I'm really proud when I go into a room and I see the women coming together, giving each other hugs, or even just smiling at one another. There's no judgment. It's a really good community. I know they're like-minded, and I know they want to grow off each other's successes. But it's nice when you hear, oh, this happened, and you hear a bit of a meltdown, and you hear someone encourage them and saying, it's okay. This is the journey. Pick yourself up and put your big girl boots on and keep moving forward. I love hearing that from another woman. So women to women, it's really important that we do support one another. So I don't know if it's come from my experience and then it's showcasing to the other women, or I've just brought the right women together. There's no judgment, there's no insecurities. So it's nice to see. And I created that. And sometimes I just think, oh, wow,
Because you've created the space and you've allowed people to be open and give, you know, so that they find it easy and not being judged. So they're able to, it's a safe space for them to let it be. Yeah.
And I make it welcoming. Like as soon as I have a new person coming to either a coffee catch up or one of our events that are like a workshop or more of a seated event, I try and embrace them and just think that could have been me walking into a room all these years ago. You know, you've had a bad morning or you're feeling a little bit, I'm not sure if I can do this today. You go into a room and if someone's welcoming, you just think, I've come into the right space. Or if you're walking into the room and someone's just looking at you and like, giving you a look, or they're scrolling on their phone and they're not, welcoming with open arms. Yep. You think twice, do I walk into this room? Is this what sort of group I want to be in? So it's really important that that's the start of the room, of the day.
Yeah.
So
your members, whoever is in your group, tell me one success story from someone who started in your group and what have they achieved in their life now?
Okay, I don't have one. I've got so many. But I'm proud of all the members. Like I say to the women, like for you to join a network of the ladies in our group, like well done to you. It takes a lot of guts to start going into a new group because we are quite new. There's been other networking events out there like your Chamber of Commerce, your BNIs and all that. They've been around for God knows how long. So I think I say to them, well done for coming into such a new group. Like, thank you. And lately, the successes are not just individual. I think it's throughout a lot of the women. And you know what it is, Reshmi?
Yeah.
It's confidence.
Confidence, yeah.
It's not just those little moments where they say, I got a new client today. It's more the way they walk in, the way they speak to their colleagues, the way they embrace and speak about their business. I just think, are you the same woman that I met like last year? Like, wow, that's what I'm really raving on about at the moment. It's like, yes, you're shining in so much new ways. Like, so I feel like a lot of the women are doing that at the moment. So shout out to you women in Business Mum Society. You're doing amazing.
All right. So what qualities do you think women need to develop if they want to create more freedom in their life? The qualities.
Okay. Qualities. I think they need to be a bit open-minded. Don't go in there and think, what is this group doing for me? Or what am I going to achieve from this? I think it's having that open mind. What can I learn? Who am I going to speak to today? That person I speak to, who knows what they can offer me, whether it's a service, mentoring, or a really great business model that they've got. So I think that's really important. Being positive. I feel like lately not many people are very positive. I say go in there and be positive. It bounces off one another. If you go in there with negative and you just think this is not for me or I'm not in the mood today, like it's gonna be a domino effect. It really is. So go in there with positivity, and I'm not saying you have to be fake or anything, but just have a
shift in the thinking.
Yeah. And think today's a great new day. Who am I going to speak to? What are they going to offer to my business? Because I feel like I'm learning every day as the years go on in my business. What other qualities? Oh, geez. I don't know. When you met the women last time, how did you feel when you came to one of our catch-ups?
Yeah, good. Yeah, people were openly talking about it. That's the main thing. You have to be open, not shy.
Yes.
So that's
yes.
You can't just sit in a corner and, but you've got to put yourself in those spaces, and that brings in the confidence. The little steps bring in each little achievement builds up on your confidence. And so in here at Investor Women, I always talk about, not about houses, it's about financial freedom, right? And choice, not necessarily financial freedom, but the choices money gives you. What does financial freedom or that mean to you personally?
Okay. I feel like I need to do some investor women workshops or something and grow in this area. For me, financial freedom is...
Or independence.
Yeah, or
whatever.
independence is just having a bit of stability. I've created this lifestyle with what we've had, and I want to continue that, and I want to continue that with my family, and one day I'll be a grandparent, God willing. I want that stability to keep growing, and I want to be able to make my own choices too, not ask my husband, oh, is this the right time? I think that's really important, having those choices and offers and things like that. So I think I'll be joining some of your workshops or something. Hey.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
So if a younger woman comes to you and wants to know how to build a better life for themselves, what would you, or a better future, right? What would you, your advice be?
Okay, so based on my personal experience, because remember I'm not a financial advisor or anything.
But it's all life.
Yeah, it is. It's life lessons. Every day we learn. But going back to someone who is younger and is keen and showing interest, I think that's what it is too. Because possibly someone was like myself as a young age with no interest, because it's what I was taught. I wasn't really taught that. But if some younger person now is coming and saying, hey, Carla, you're like, what sort of life lessons would you give me? I'd say, girl, go listen to podcasts, go read. I think reading is the key. Like go research what you need, and talk to people. There's so many great professional people out there. I think sometimes we feel like, oh, if I go to the bank, they're going to brainwash me and say, get a loan. But it's not that. It's about having the options, the knowledge, the power. What can I do? Do I invest in shares, or do I invest, God knows, in all the different investments that there are now? So I think don't be afraid. Go out there, ask the questions, research.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. Actually, that's really good. So where can everyone find you and connect with your community?
Okay, so you can connect with me via LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere. So I run a couple of businesses. So one of them is Miss Carla's Learning Adventures, where I am a children's artist. So you can find me on social media, YouTube, and also on music platforms. But then Business Mum Society also, on all those different platforms. But give me a call. I love a good phone call. Give me a call, speak to me, have a chat with me, and see if it's something for you. Yeah. Because it's an amazing group of women out there. But give Business Mum Society a go, and there's so much you can learn from us. So yeah, you can find me anywhere.
Awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, it has been lovely chatting with you, and I'm sure there's a lot of women out there who will resonate with what Carla had to say. So tune in and look forward to the next episode.
Thank you for having me today. It's been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carla, for joining me today. I think today is a great reminder that the people we surround ourselves with and the conversations we have shape our future. Whether it's business, investing, or wealth creation, it all starts with learning and taking the first step. If this episode resonated with you, share this with another woman who needs to hear it. See you next time.
The information featured in this podcast is general in nature and does not take into consideration your financial situation or individual needs and should not be relied upon. Before making any investment, insurance, tax, property, or financial planning decision, you should consult a licensed professional who can advise whether your decision is appropriate for you. Guests appearing on this podcast may have a commercial relationship with the companies mentioned. This podcast has been brought to you by Investor Women.